All right, welcome in to the Daily Huddle. Jared, how are you?
Woo! Awesome.
I can't hear you at all.
What?
Are you on? You got to turn your microphone on.
My mic's on. Here we go again with more technical problems.
On. It's not working. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I am thrilled to have you on.
Is that
Daily
working?
Huddle. So if you'll get that microphone fixed,
Is that working?
go into your settings and change it. Hey, everybody, welcome into the Daily Huddle while Jared figures out how to work a microphone. We'll dig in. This is the Daily Huddle. We go live for about 15 minutes on Facebook, YouTube, different platforms in order to share with you a couple of headlines that are on our minds that are standing out to us. And then and share those with you, and then talk about one particular topic that stands out to us. Jared, you able to get fixed that?
Still nothing? You don't hear me?
I would suggest changing your settings and then coming back in. So one of the things that I guess I'll share for a second while Jared gets that figured out and relogs back in. Can you tell we're live? This is no question about it. So and on Zoom meetings and all these live events that we've all been doing lately, it's crazy how this works. Nope. Second strike. Absolutely no microphone. Hey, Jared, when you log in, it shows a bar on your mic on whether or not it's working. And so that tells you whether or not it's working. So I'll wait for Jared to get that figured out. And then and in the meantime, share with you a few things that stand out to me. So first thing is this graphic that we wanted to share, which is the economy reopening and what that looks like. These survey results of people around the world. You know, it seems to me that a lot of people are changing their mindset on this the deeper we get into it, because there's this level of frustration, right, with and how long are we going to be quarantined? How long are we not going to have business back to normal? What's that going to look like if this continues for a long period of time? And so we were looking at this graphic and that was done, asking this question: should the economy reopen if COVID-19 hasn't been fully contained, if we don't have it fully under control? And so people around the world were asked about that. And in Russia, you see 60% of people say, yeah, we should reopen, which is interesting. I haven't heard much news out of Russia. I haven't seen many articles. I don't know about the rest of you on how COVID-19 is affecting Russia. China and Italy, though, that to me stands out, because China and Italy are two of the places that have been most impacted by this, right? China, of course, first, and then Italy had a ton of cases right out of the gate, right after China. And you see a public opinion in China. I don't know how much you can believe or really think about how much stock you can put in survey results out of China. Like, how do you survey people in China on things like this? Jerry, is your mic working?
Can you hear me now?
It's still not working. I think the entertainment value in today's show is simply Jared trying to comment and trying to talk. He's got like 17 microphones. Hey, Jared, just go to your built-in microphone. Don't use any other microphone. Use the built-in microphone on your Mac. That will probably solve your issues. So China and Italy, right? Some of the first countries to be most impacted by COVID-19. And now you see public opinion in those countries going like, man, let's just get things going back to normal. Let's just try to get some semblance of normalcy returned to the world. And then India, I haven't read a ton about India. I know Germany is progressing. They haven't been as hard hit as places like the United States. But I was actually surprised. The country that really surprises me the most on this chart is the U.S. and seeing how only 35% of people in the U.S. feel like that the economy should get open again. Jared, you back on?
Can you hear me now? Still no?
It's almost like a comedy show that you. Oh, look! As I click on you in this software, it gives me two options, Jared. kick out of the studio or ban or ban from the studio. I'm not sure which one of those I feel like doing the most right now. With your audio. See, what you do is there's a little microphone icon, Jared, and you click on that, and it tells you which microphone you can choose from. You choose that, and then you can speak.
You don't think I know that?
No, really? That's fascinating. Tell me more about that, Jared.
Tell
me about one of your favorite memories as a child.
Is it actually working?
Yeah, it's working. It's working.
My goodness. I'm selecting every microphone I have, including the internal mic.
I actually think it was working most of the time. I just think this software was screwed up and not letting me hear you. But you got some good exercise and you got some good, burn some good calories. Oh my gosh, seriously. Michael Davis says, hey, I can hear both of you talking until Jared, your screen froze. And so now we can't. But anyway. Okay. So Jared will relog in. I want to go back to the graphic we were talking about. So it's interesting to me that only 35% of people in the US, does that accurately reflect what you're hearing from your colleagues and what you're feeling, what your neighbors, family members are feeling? I feel like, man, at least where we live in Arizona, we keep having these conversations of family every night about, well, are we still going to be quote unquote quarantined? Are we still going to, hey, Jared, welcome back in.
This is a train wreck today.
I think we can hear you. It's just, and I think you could probably be heard the whole time. It was just not beaming the audio to me.
Oh, interesting.
But then you froze on camera.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out too well.
No.
But anyway,
we're learning great lessons here today.
It's good to do this with only 44,000 on the screen live. If we were doing this with 1 million, man, the impact would be embarrassing. Okay, Jared, I was talking about this graphic. You found this.
Yeah.
Did the US number surprise you as well?
Yeah, it totally surprised me. I thought we'd be way higher up this chart than where it showed up. I was surprised Russia and China were two of the top ones when it comes to a question about the economy, when you just got that traditional communist stuff going on in there, and obviously Russia's not communist anymore. But
can I put that in air quotes? That traditional.
I just expected that there would be a different mindset there, but there's not. We love Mao and all, but you got to get control over there, Russ. This is the best live stream we've ever done, just in case.
Man.
But I was surprised. I was totally shocked that the United States was like 35%. Really? That's where we're at. I think with everything we're seeing right now and all the news and everything that's happening, we would see a lot more people saying, let's flip the switch. Let's get back to work. So yeah, totally shocked.
Walk through this one too, Jared.
Yeah. Are you nervous about leaving your home if we reopened everything? This actually, I can see people feeling nervous because of the media frenzy that's been created around this. And I don't know, India suddenly jumps up. I'm curious where India went on the other chart and why it's so high on this chart.
Well, because this one is, I agree that I'm nervous. Right. So I totally agree with you that I thought the US numbers would be different. Italy and China are interesting. China's not on this one. I'm not sure why, but I've got to assume that in those countries that are further into this, than we are, than the US is, that there's just this, oh my gosh, we got to get back to normal. So anyway, I cannot think about that quote. You've got that traditional communist stuff without losing my mind. I think I've been cooped up for far too long. And the movies I've been watching at night with the kids are just not good. So, man, that impacted me in a funny way. Jared Jones, expert analysis, said, well, when you have that traditional communist stuff, anyway, okay.
Yeah, count on me for good political commentary.
Oh, man. I had no idea the value this Daily Huddle would create in market analysis. But anyway, okay, so that's your headline. That's the one you wanted to share today. The one I wanted to go through was this one, which is not as fun. This is from the New York Times, and it's GDP. So the big headlines, if you're on any news site today, is the quarterly GDP, right? And so that's the bar on the right of your screen. First quarter, negative 4.8, and then you can see on the left side of your screen those yellow bars that go down. That's the Great Recession. So you can see the height of when our quarterly GDP really went off the chart. Which the thing I value about this chart is how it puts in perspective really where we've been. The crazy thing that was in the article, one of the articles I read this morning, Jared, was that so in first quarter it's -5% GDP in the U.S. And when you think about first quarter, only March was impacted by COVID-19 in the U.S. and only a few weeks of March in most places. And so, do you know what the number is that the economists are guessing? And it's totally a guess; nobody knows. But do you know what the number they're throwing around as potentially negative GDP in second quarter? Have you seen any of this, Jared?
No, I haven't.
Negative 25%.
Wow.
And they said if that's true, if it really is negative 25%, it will rival only the Great Depression. We will never have seen anything like that in the United States in anybody who's alive today, or at least most people who are alive today. We've never experienced that. Negative 25%, which I hope it's not that bad. But that's the number that the legitimate economists are throwing out there right now. So anyway,
not super surprising to me, Russ. It's one of the reasons why I said I was so surprised at that first graphic, that people that say, let's get the economy started, that there's not more people recognizing that reality, that we are headed for something that looks like the Great Depression.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, let's get to the topic we were going to talk about we've got just a couple
there was
minutes.
one other headline though, Russ. One other headline I saw was that beer sales are up double digits in the last few weeks. So
yeah, that's
apparently people are just drinking their sorrows away.
Not shocking. I would imagine any kind of substance, cigarettes, alcohol, anything else would be off the charts right now, right?
Yeah.
Anything to help people that people might use to cope with challenges they're facing. Okay. So the topic that we wanted to talk about today was how do you build capacity? This is a post that what got me thinking about this was a post that I made on LinkedIn yesterday about this, and it got a lot of traction. It got a lot of comments and engagement on it. And I'll give you the quick premise on it, because to me, capacity and resiliency, there are some connections there.
Totally.
That disruptions really cause you to examine and look at what's my capacity level to handle disruptions and uncertainty. What's my capacity level to be resilient and to have resiliency to handle all kinds of challenges. And my belief, Jared, is that obviously it's not genetic, and that you build it. And I love the word that you used in a comment you made on that post. You want to share that? Do you remember it?
I don't. What word did I use? Capacity?
Yeah. No, you were talking about earned, that you earn,
yes.
Right? That you earn resiliency and capacity.
You totally earn it. I mean, you think about all the experiences, all the things you go through where it's like going to the gym. You can, when you start, just a simple workout regimen, you can only do so many reps, so much weight. You earn the ability to do more of that through the hard work that you put in. And resilience is earned through experiences. When you go through hard times or you go through difficult circumstances, you're building resiliency and knowing that you can come back out of that you can recover from that. To me, it is earned. It's not just something that you're born with.
Yeah, one of the examples I used in that post on LinkedIn yesterday, was around my kids, right? One of the things that's built my capacity and resiliency has been having children. And anybody that's a parent out there, I'm sure you can relate to that. When the first kid comes along, you're like totally overwhelmed. You're like, how does anybody do this? How does anybody on earth? I mean, like your respect level for your own parents and for your friends have had kids. You're like, my gosh, like we never get any sleep. The thing's blowing out of its diapers. It's, so many things. It's got, different health. The baby's got different health issues, all these things that how am I supposed to work and do these things? And so you're just amazed that people have been able to do this, and you're overwhelmed by it for a while. And then some of us are crazy enough that we have a second one. That's right. Yeah, we do it again. And then now there's what's that?
I want more of that. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. We forget about it, right? And then we feel like, okay, we got this. We're good. We know how to be parents now. We're total masters of this thing. Bring another one. We can do this. And then you get the second one. You're like, oh my gosh, how does anybody do this? And you repeat. I've got 4. Jared, you've got more. And I posted on LinkedIn about my neighbor down the street who's got 8 kids. Wow. 8 kids. And how in the world? So I'm sitting at, some people have 1 and they think, how does somebody have 4 like me? And then I'm thinking with 4, how does somebody have 8? And it's just capacity. You build capacity. That's one example in my life, at least, of how you build resiliency and capacity. It's not that the family down the street has different genes or different abilities. They just, to your point, Jared, they've earned that resiliency. They've earned the greater capacity through the experiences they've had, right?
Yeah, the reps, right? It's also, you can lean on other people's experience. I mean, you can look to, okay, someone else has been through something like this, and I can lean on that in moments of difficulty or whatever, so that you can actually have the hope you need to move through those experiences, which does build and earn that capacity and resiliency. So I think it's important to recognize looking to others to have that, that moment, that little bit of hope that you need at the right time to keep moving.
No question. All right. Well, let's wrap up. This one is one we definitely want to send to NBC, CNN, any of the major broadcast companies or media companies. We ought to put this on the real tape. I think it'd probably get us a show. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
There are some of the daily huddles that we are going to want to forget, and this one might be one of them. So anyway, glad we got those technical problems worked out. All right. Have a great day.
Yeah.